8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, all right. We'll call the March 12th transit meeting to order. Roll call, we have Darren and Gretchen here. Few people in there. Approval of minutes for the February 12th, 25 meeting minutes.
I make a motion to approve minutes.
With the exception of 25. There's our second. Anything else? Any questions? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Public comment for transit. Anybody? Transit? Nope. All right, nothing for me. On to Austin.
All right, I've been out for about half the last few weeks with my first newborn that came 2 Thursdays ago.
Congratulations.
And so this I don't have as much to report as a normal month. But
We'll have a slide this.
Yeah.
How much time did
You got all that extra time at night when you were awake?
Yeah.
You could add, I figured you'd have like a book.
yeah, midnight to 5 this morning.
Good for you.
Yeah. But, so thank you to John here. This is John Hentor, our new operations supervisor since November. You may have seen him at the fire department, before here. And, he's been, great. He's led the charge, for the couple weeks that I've been out. So, for the, next amount of time here, I'm gonna be in and out of the office. I'll try to stay at the office 7 to noon or so most of these days. Through this FMLA, I'll leave with the newborn for the upcoming weeks. Other than that, we'll get started. Don't worry about my little Nate in the bottom corner there. Agenda, ridership, financials on the route, advertising, and any questions today. So we think back to February here, we had about as cold and snowy as we've had in a while. So we saw that directly reflect ridership. Fourth Top and Red Cedar ridership decreased from 567 in January to 549 in February, down 3%. But you look at the service days, 22 service days to 20 service days, it actually was up 35% on daily ridership, which is good to see. Still maintaining right the midline versus our historical years since 2016. Community route ridership increased from 1394 to 2097 in February. That's a huge jump, but also Stout was back. You look at the service days, 23 service days in January at 60 a day, and then February 22 service days, but 95 riders a day, up 58%. We didn't have the best ever like we've had most months for some previous years there, but most of that is all Stout overflow back when those numbers came to be in 2020 and 2019. If we look at the ridership of non-students versus students, we're having 500 community members ride this bus in February. So definitely not just Stout overflow. So that's been great to see for the month of February. And then Stout route ridership increased from 3,700 in January up to 16,000 in February. 5 service days at 755 a day, and 20 service days in February at 843 a day, up 11% for daily ridership, bringing second best ever February since 2015. And in my staff report, we actually had the best or the second best February ever for just total ridership. for Dunn County Transit, just shy of 20,000 riders, only being beat by February of 23 and February of 2016. So, we haven't seen this high numbers in a while, 2 years this month and then 8 years. So, you can see here, like I always stressed, is a direct reflection of the weather that we got outside. And then weather outside and having our ducks in a row, the buses on the route, no breakdowns, the biggest buses possible, best ridership. So it's good to see. 2025 financials, as a whole through 2 months, we should be at about 16%, and we're at about 17.5% used up. So a lot of this stuff hit already, very front end loaded for the beginning of the year, 2,300 in our maintenance contracts through IT. 80% of that budget already utilized, so that shows here. We've had a bunch of serpentine belt, pulleys, stuff like that, and brake caliper replacements. This was a year contract that we paid for in January, good for the year, and then the liability insurance already 85% paid for the year. So really front end loaded, and still right at 1% under where we should be. So sitting pretty good through 2 months. Community route update, potentially summer 25, a mock-up that I've been trying to go through here that, okay, currently when we don't stop at the UW library until the top of the hour. And, to get students up to Walmart, they either get on the bus at 8 o'clock in the morning and then they ride the bus for 47 minutes to get to Walmart, or they use the Stout bus to get from campus, they go to Red Cedar Hall, and then they get dropped back off at the clock tower. And if they wait there at 33 after, they go straight north. They're up there to Walmart in 12 minutes. Well, instead of that, what we currently do is come up on Crescent, go around on 6th. So left turn at a stoplight, left turn at a stoplight, go to the clock tower, left turn, right turn at a stoplight, and another stoplight, and go north at 33 minutes after the hour. So instead of that, what a mock-up would be is bypassing the City Hall bus stop at 19 after, coming straight on 9th Street from Dick's Fresh Market to Stepping Stones a few minutes earlier, just stopping at Dick's at 12 after instead of 15 after, Stepping Stones 2 minutes earlier, or 5 minutes earlier, and then making our rounds to CVTC, to the campus itself, pulling this bus shelter, putting it at public library or somewhere else. These are all the same, just about 3-4 minutes earlier in the loop. One left turn.
Yeah.
Goes to City Hall, just 9 minutes later. Comes straight down to the UW library. One right turn, goes straight north. 2 stoplights and about 5 less left turns, and actually goes to campus at the half hour instead of the clock tower. So it maintains being actually more on campus at library versus the clock tower, and then heads north. No change in the amount of stops on the list, just a change in about between 2 minutes and 5 minutes, 8 minutes when we stop at a few of these locations, and stops 16 through 23 stay the same, and a few of these have updated. So I think it's a lot more efficient than kind of the figure 8 loop that we're doing up here, the 2 loops with the amount of stoplights and left turns at stoplights, especially facing south, trying to get onto Main from Broadway. If you're not the first person in line trying to make a left turn there, you're waiting until all those cars come through. So think this will serve the students and general population a lot better. That was just an idea that I had and, pretty minimal change. But also we have students that are riding the bus from Fricklin, or Edgewood from their apartments or houses. And they're getting off at City Hall because it's the closest stop to the library all the way until the top of the hour. This would take them all the way to campus at the half hour, not the end. So that an idea. Had any discussion on that?
I think it's a great idea. You know, I think about a computer science major, that sort of traveling salesman problem is quite tricky, so it's definitely not easy to make it all work out, but this looks like it would serve pretty well.
Minimal change to the schedule. I think it is a pretty big help. I'd like to get a couple different drivers on this route after hours or on the weekend just to see how it runs. But, yeah, like to.
Seems more efficient than all those left-hand turns.
Yes.
And then, yeah, looks a lot better.
And, yeah, and the best, there's no good time to change a route, but the best times to change a route are either December after the semester's done, but the best time is June 1st.
Yep.
Then we have a whole 3 months to get people adapted to it.
Right.
So is that your goal would be to launch this June 1st?
Yeah, yeah. And then that's why we're talking about it now. You know, we're already in March and then getting the change in the pamphlets made and the change in the Google Transit and all that. Something to go ahead. So the next step would be testing this, and then saying, okay, this works. It's not too tight of a schedule, and then putting it into effect.
Is this a motion? Is this a motion object or just a report that, hey, we're gonna give this a whirl?
Yeah, I think at this point, I'll test it out and give you some feedback next month or
That was good.
or so. Okay, so that's that. They're up, they're redoing, Heritage Hall here. I believe
Yeah,
next, I thought it was summer 26.
think so.
Yeah, I didn't think it was this summer, but during that construction phase, we need to move the bus shelters. They're gonna temporarily move them further to the west in front of the library, past the sidewalk. And they're just gonna move forward, which actually will open things up because where they're gonna move them forward to, there's already a cutout on the other side. So it's actually 3.5, 4 lanes wide versus 3. And then this is the final drawings for where they're gonna be. Then they're gonna be moved forward a little bit. So kind of setbacks are gonna move forward. So their final resting spot will be further forward than, I believe this is where the crosswalk comes across 10th there, and they'll be just ahead of it, to the west. Which would be kind of nice, because that hill's pretty steep, you know, coming down, we're already trying to slow down while we're coming down a steep hill. This will give it a little bit more, but. And then these transit buses have these great convex spots, put a bunch of verbiage, and we worked with Fast Signs out of Eau Claire. Got some new verbiage in the buses. Monday through Friday schedule, QR code to track the bus, how the Stout route works, how Stout PM route works up top. Title 6, public notices, and then that new advertising QR code. This page is still pretty blank, but it's at least built out, so we can add to it and put a contact us form. I think this will really serve some of those campus organizations. Very economical to print this versus putting graphics on the outside of a bus. So an organization wants to promote an upcoming event as campus. You know, there's 80,000 students that ride this bus alone on a year. So 16,000 in February. So think you get your money's worth if it's 10, 20 bucks a month to put a poster up in the bus. Any questions today?
I had one, your community route, you really go down in the summertime. Then I thought, well, Stout probably took over that, but they're all down in the summertime too. So where are all these people not using it in the summertime? Cause you had like a lot of people during the year, but maybe I'm missing something then.
During the summer, it's, instead of 3/4 students, it's about 3/4 community members, but there's still a
Okay,
great ridership.
so you still got some students?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
And then there's a bunch of students that still live in town through the summers, the older students, the juniors and seniors mostly.
okay,
But the ridership is still good through the summer. And then that route still goes it just cuts off one of those morning loops at 7:37 to 7:45, but then still does 7:53 all the way till 5:09 at night. So, yeah, still real good ridership there. There's just no community Saturday route because
I just seen a Stout.
less
I
than.
thought, then why is there such a difference between Stout and community, Do any kids, like go to the high school, you drop kids off there or not that many?
Sometimes we've had, that riders that get on and off the bus, there's a bus, stop sign right a block away. And they
Okay,
get on right at some of those apartments there. But, yeah, and we actually have elementary, we've had one or two, but one for 2 years now, an elementary student that rides our bus with, tokens, our doorstop bus. Not even our routed bus, but our doorstop bus that his parents get him tokens. And he rides our bus from, Wakanda School to River Heights.
Hmm.
Because then he doesn't have to ride the school bus for an hour to get there for his after-school program before his parents can pick him up. So it's good that way. And then before that, we took him all the way up to Kids Adventure Zone on the south side of town in that after-school program. That's been good.
thank you.
Any other questions? Otherwise, Austin, the only other thing I was gonna bring up was asked about nonprofits and if we can supply any transportation for them. Can you do a report on that next month?
I could do that. I'll give you the verbiage from the state, to let us know what we can do and can't do. Our hands are a bit tied with some of that. This was not, coming in on the private sector of what I've been told from them in the past. When, chambers reached out for different events, but, there might be some difference in regulation versus, Dunn County, our organization ran events versus other private nonprofits or,
Okay,
but, I will report back.
yeah, just do some kind of report on that if you can. I appreciate it. Otherwise, any other questions? Any other comments? If not, we'll adjourn. Next meeting, April 9th, same place, same time. Adjourn.
Thank you.